Okay, good evening, everyone. Again, welcome to another episode of Sequoia Commercial Weekly Training. So before I start, do have some house cleaning that I need to share with everyone. Well, not house cleaning. I do mean the announcement. Okay. So by the end of this month, April 29th, we will be in Bay Area. So we are rocking that area. We just came back from St. Louis. Very, very good turnout. We are going back to St. Louis in about a month or two, but by the end of this month, we will be in Delaware. So the meeting is, in the Bay Area. So the meeting is on April 29th. Go check on our Facebook. If you want to register, or if you want to register your client or your team member, whatever that might be, go to Facebook and check it out. May, okay, we are going into May 13, ladies and gentlemen, we will have our meeting here in Sequoia's headquarters, Washington, D.C. That is May 13, okay? So the flyer will come out. We will invite a few lenders to come to our event to talk about, the type of programs that we can offer. So again, that is in May 13th. Next thing is that on May 20th, we will be in Wilmington, Delaware. So Miss Sutton, she is the host for that particular event. So again, we will make the announcement on Facebook. So if you're not following us on Facebook, please do.
Progress.
All the announcement up there. Okay, so and another thing that I want to share with everyone very, very quickly, it's our a lot of people asking us, hey, where is the Sequoia form, or where is the application? Where's the scenario form? Okay, let me share with you where they are. It should be pretty simple. Let me share the screen right here. Now, this is our website, as you can see. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you want to get a loan, all you have to do is just see right here, say get funded, project owner. You click on it. It goes into this page right here to explain to us what we do, so on and so forth, and give everyone a little bit about description of what we can do. And if they really want to get involved with a particular program or what I call a scenario form, all they have to do is just to go here to click on Explore Loan Options. It will take you to this particular page right here. Or the easiest way, if you see the product sign up here, click on the product. It will bring you to this page immediately. All right. Now, if you scroll down a little bit, these are all the different programs that we can offer. Now, where is the form? All you have to do is just to click on one of this, the pull down menu, and you click on apply now. So now this is where the form is. And here we use scenario form and application interchangeably. So if we're talking about scenario, that's what we're talking about. If we're talking about application, same thing. So that is where you'll find the scenario form. Okay, good. That is pretty much that's all we have for announcement.
Chinese equipment loan.
By coincidence,
Yeah.
Okay, guys, if you just join us, please mute yourself, and we will start the equipment training shortly. Okay, as I mentioned, tonight we are going to talk about equipment, and we are going to talk about truck. So for the longest time, a lot of you asking us, hey, can we do trucks? Can we do can we fund equipment, so on and so forth? Yes, we can definitely do that. We actually funded quite a few trucks in the last year or so. Have not yet been very heavily get involved with truck funding. We funded quite a bit of equipment loans. Okay, so tonight, well, actually for the last few months, we see more and more inquiry about purchasing truck, purchasing equipment, or some people is even asking us, hey, I already own the equipment. Can I do a refinance on the equipment? So on and so forth.
No.
So the answer is absolutely, we can do that. So tonight we invited yet another Sequoia advisor, Mr. Bob Finale, onto our platform. I know Bob for a period of quite some time already, and he has been in the equipment funding industry for over 25 years. Very, very experienced, very, very knowledgeable about how to fund this kind of stuff. So I thought about this, instead of me talking about equipment funding, might as well invite Bob to come here to share with everyone what equipment funding is, what can we do, what can we fund, what are the requirements, how to do the, cash out, refinance, so on and so forth. So without further ado, Bob, are you on?
I'm ready. If you guys
Okay.
can hear me, I've done presentations and I was on mute 3/4 of the time. So can you everyone hear me out there? Alan, you good to go?
Bob, the
Can you hear
floor
me?
is yours.
All right. First off, I want to apologize for the side of my head here, gang. It's very busy at work, so I have four to 8 monitors going at all times. A lot of stuff I have to pull here, so I apologize for that. My PowerPoint here is on the on my other computer here, so I'm going to share my screen. I have a nice little version of little cheat sheet here that I've created to make life as simple as possible when we're talking about equipment. Let me move this over here so it's out of the way. So what we look at in equipment, our deal sizes vary. In order for it to be, worth our while, we're going to have.
Hey, Sharon, sorry to bother you, but Donnie still got me on lock at a certain time, but so I can't reach him by his phone. Can you tell him it is 8 o'clock? The thing started at 8.
Jerry, if you don't mind, can you mute yourself?
Yeah, he may be down there, but I can't reach him because his phone, he just called me and said,
okay. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
That's okay. So, the deal minimum we're going to look at is 30,000. So anything under that, it's really not something that we're going to be interested in. The value is just not there. But the great news is we can go up to $3 million. So, a nice variety of pieces of equipment, whether it's a truck that Alan spoke of, yellow iron, bulldozers, cranes, anything of that nature is going to fall within those parameters. What we look at, is kind of not bankable customer. So yes, your A credits are fantastic. They'll probably, look for rates in the low teens, a bank rate, so to speak. But we really look for customers that have a little bit of a hiccup, a little bit of a challenge credit, and see if we can get that deal done. We have our terms we do is broad. We can do, from 12 months is the lowest up to 72 months and pretty much anything in between. 42 months are popular these days, 48, what have you. So whatever the customer is comfortable with. Obviously, the higher you go in the term, the lower the monthly payment is going to be for the customer, and vice versa. The lower the term, the higher the monthly payment. We do 100% pure startup. So if you hear out in the field there, customers, wants to start a business, working for a landscaper, wants to do his own thing, him or her wants to do their own thing, we do that. So we will finance up to $300,000 for said customer. The only catch here is, and if we read here, the customer must have 3 years of industry experience in that field. So another, prime example would be a landscaper. They've been working for a company for, 4 years, looking to branch out on their own. That is our industry experience. Usually you can find that on a Schedule C, maybe a 1099, W-2, something of that sort. Just need to, make credit happy that industry experience is there. We can submit that deal. With that said, even though it's a pure startup, we would need 2 years of personal tax returns and 3 months of personal bank statements. And this is just to show that the customer has some sort of cash flow to pay for said equipment. Especially when you're lending out $300,000, you want to make sure there's some debt coverage there and what have you. But it's not a tough credit to get through. What we're seeing and what Alan addressed there is we see a ton of sleeper transactions. They are also called over the road. So the big rigs out there, you know, the 18-wheelers that are hauling on our highways each and every day, they are like the bloodline of our economy, getting materials from one end of the country to the other. And that is a great asset and a great thing for our small business here in the country. So we love to get these done, and we try to get them. It's not that hard to get these things done. A lot of people have trouble with them. There's a lot of funding sources that will not even entertain this type of asset. It's an asset that is, you know, unfortunately breaks down a lot. It's you know, has a lot of moving parts, and it's, you know, hauling a lot of stuff almost on a 24-hour basis. So with that said, we will do 100%, you know, brand new person, guy or girl working for FedEx. Now they want to buy their own truck. Again, showing that 3 years of industry experience. That is an even easier put than a regular, you know, a landscaper type of deal, because this customer would hopefully already have a CDL. So just a copy of the CDL dated 3 years ago, we can show that. And once again, since it's a startup, we will need 2 years of personal tax returns and 3 months of bank statements. No fleet is required. So this could be the customer's first and only truck that they want. So we don't, you know, some companies want, you know, 5 trucks, 10 trucks, something like that. We will do just 1 truck. It does not matter. Another thing that we're seeing a lot of med spas popping up, a lot of aesthetic lasers, cosmetic. We do that. So if you come across a customer, and we do startups on those as well. Again, 2 years business tax returns, you know, some industry experience. With that, we do not need a medical professional licensed doctor in this type of in med spa and lasers. These things basically operate themselves. It would be very hard to you know, quote unquote hurt anyone. So, you know, we don't really need a medical license for that. So private party sales, you know, for those that aren't really familiar with the equipment industry, we do those. We love those. And it is easy as a buddy wants to sell an excavator or a backhoe or a, you know, a grinder or anything of that nature to another buddy. We can do that deal. As long as our borrower is creditworthy, we can get that deal done. It's a quick bill of sale that the selling party, you know, signs off on. Just name the person's name, address, phone number, the amount, and we will, you know, get the wire instructions from the seller, send that money right out to them as long as our customer qualifies. So real easy transaction there. What is happening in the market, the economy, the recession, you know, whatever news channel you're turning on there, this is probably our #1 selling product right now. It's called our cash out. So if a customer owns a piece of equipment free and clear, and again, the range of prices of equipment can vary from 30,000 up to 3 million, we can give that customer cash right into their account. And we'll do a normal term, 36, 48, 60 months, depending on the age and the value of the equipment. We will take 90% of the wholesale of that equipment. So we have a third party. We go out there, you know, we pull some comps. They pull some comps for us, send us the results back, and we take the average of 3 or 4 comps. And that's what our comfort level would be. And literally, customers, you know, this is great for cash flow, payroll. They can do with the money whatever they please, but we can 100% give them that right into their account, and it's booked like any normal deal with reasonable terms, reasonable, no daily, weekly payments like that a lot of working capital sources have. We do not do that. They will have a normal payment, just like a car payment, once a month, your mortgage payment once a month. That's it. And we have no age restrictions on equipment, which is great. So customer, especially in this inventory kind of market we're in. A lot of customers, very old equipment out there, 2000s, 1999s. We don't have an age restriction. We do cap the trucks at 1.1 million. So that is an all-in number, which it seems like a lot, but especially if you're talking about a sleeper, these things, probably average, 12,000 a month. So we have to just make sure. So we're looking at a truck that has about 800,000 miles on it. We can do a 36-month term. That gets us to, 1.1 million at the end of term. So, and all this, any questions, just bubble to Alan. He'll give me a call and I'll let you know, I'll let Alan know to relay the message to let you know if that'll be a fit or not. We do something a little different than a lot of folks out there is we will entertain rebuilt, overhauled engines. Very rare that any other company messes with something like that. You're putting a rebuilt engine on a frame that's old. So you have a 2005 truck. Yeah, the engine's nice, brand new, shiny, but you're still putting it on the 2005 frame. So a lot of people, a lot of funding sources have issues with that. We do not. We will go out and inspect and make sure that the engine does not fall through the frame and make sure we're comfortable with it. But usually there's really good documentation when an engine does get overhauled, and we just go off of that. What I like about Alan and myself and my credit folks, we listen to the whole story. So if the customer has a hiccup on the credit, that's okay. I had situations where unfortunately a customer was told to declare bankruptcy because of a marriage that didn't work out. And if this person did not, declare, they would have lost their business, their house and everything. So unfortunately, but that's something that is a story and it makes sense. So let us know the story. Let us know what's going on. The more we have the information up front, the better off the deal has a chance to be approved, funded, and money in everyone's pocket. The more that I have to go back and forth to my credit folks and Alan, the more that it gets more challenging, and it's like we're hiding stuff, and it's a real gray area. But please let us know as much information as you know up front through Alan, and we'll see if we can't get that deal done for the customer. Again, this is a small business that runs our country. 90% of our country is run by these guys and gals, working hard every day. And, Alan and I want to supply them with the equipment needed to get the job done. And that's exactly what we're here for. And we're all here for on the call. These are some just real quick vehicle types and equipment that you'll see out in the marketplace. A lot of it may be familiar to everyone on the call. Some is you would have to Google and figure out. Matter of fact, I have to Google time and time again. I see a lot of different stuff cross my desk, and Google's my friend. Thank God for Google. So just I have this. Maybe Alan can shoot it over in an email if any of your customers are talking about the equipment that they have, something that we're interested in. There really is no equipment off limits. Restaurant equipment, if the story's there, the customer has the experience, and of course the credit quality's there, we can look to get it done. Some things that I struggle with, or my credit folks struggle with, is soft items. And I say soft items, so like software really is only for that particular customer. Most of it is designed for that particular customer, so there's really no resale value on the back end. So we really don't entertain that.
32.
Computers
432.
Are tough as well. Again, the life cycle of a computer, as soon as you plug it in, it's onto its, the technology is already old. So, but always run it by Alan. And I will always shake the tree to try to get the deal done. And again, try to help the customer do their business and get it done, get their job done, make money for them and, for ourselves here. And I have a little just a little brief thing that kind of shows, it's the who, what, when, where, why when you're talking to a customer. Not that anyone on the phone doesn't know to ask that, but it's always good to get the story. Why do they need the equipment? Is this replacing an existing piece of equipment, or is this going to be added on to to help the business? So just minor details like that really can be game changing, and it's the difference between an approval and a decline. So the more information, the better. And we kind of go from there. Again, I can't stress enough that I've been in this industry, as Alan mentioned, for 25 years, and every day I get an approval and help a small business customer is it's rewarding. And I've seen every environment. I've seen the highs, the lows, the recessions, the pandemic. So it's, it kind of is what it is at this point. You just make it work and happen. So glad to help out everyone on the call. I'm sure you'll have a ton of questions. You can bubble them to Alan, or if you want to do a Q&A after you're done, or whatever you like, whatever I can do.
Absolutely. So yes, we do have quite a few questions right here, but before we go into the questions, Bob talking about when you have questions suited to us, that is what the scenario form is. That's what I show you. So again, let me show it to you one more time. So when you go to our website right here, let me see if I can share the screen right here.
I did see the thing for the equipment and all that. Right. Your website looks awesome. I haven't.
So again, when you go to the well, let me move this thing away. Okay, so when you go to the product.
Yep.
Okay, so now right here is you see truck and heavy equipment. So that is what we are talking about. So all you have to do, just click on it, and do an apply. Now, when I say heavy equipment, we are talking about bulldozers and things like this. So again, absolutely, Bob can do that. Now, if you're talking about medical equipment, let's say restaurant equipment, small equipment like this, then I ready you to have just to use the equipment funding. Okay, so those are the two different scenario forms that you can submit it to us. Once you come back, once you submit the scenario form to us, based on the type of equipment that you are asking for. So normally we're asking for a few things. Correct me if I'm wrong, Bob. First of all, we will send you an application for you to fill out. The second thing is that we will ask you to provide, or ask your clients to provide, an invoice from the dealer. If they're buying equipment, definitely we need to see an invoice. Now, please do not just, sometimes I see the client just go up to online and do a screenshot and send it to us. That is not an invoice. So Bob or the lender do need to see an actual invoice to see, they mainly want to see who is the vendor. Are they a legitimate vendor? Because again, there's a lot of crook out there that's trying to scam people's money. So make sure that that's why they want to verify that it's a legitimate vendor. They want to see who's the salesperson, their salesperson's phone number, email, so on and so forth. And of course, they want to see the line item for every single equipment. So for example, we have clients that owns a restaurant, and he's purchasing a lot of kitchen equipment, the table, the refrigerators, so on and so forth. So show us what all the line item is, and of course, at the end of the invoice, they need to show what is the total cost. So again, that is the invoice that we're looking for. Same thing with truck. Okay, we do need to see an invoice that shows hopefully the VIN number, the engine size, the make, model, year, so on and so forth. Okay, so please utilize this scenario form right here. And again, this is pretty simple product. This is pretty simple product. It does not need to talk to we don't need to talk to the client. And once we receive that scenario form, we submit it to Bob, and boom, within 24 to 48 hours, if he can do it, he will let us know. Okay, so we do have quite a bit of questions. So let's start at the beginning. So Bob, what if this is not a startup and they have business credit already and business bank statement?
Beautiful. Yes. So I did go through the startup scenario. Any customer, we don't consider any customer that has 2 years time in business a startup. That is for anything other than trucking. Our over-the-road trucks, our sleeper trucks that I mentioned, we do need 3 years of time in business for that. But other than that, anything over 2 years they're an established business.
Okay, very good. Second questions, will you finance cargo sprinter vans as well?
Absolutely. Love those
Okay.
things. Yes.
So that's a yes. Can you get financing for a car or truck, which is used for business?
Yes.
So you can refinance car also?
We can, yep. I just had a customer that the dealership put them in on a personal side. And even though he told them it's for the business, I was able to do the deal to get it to the business name and do all that. So yes.
So are you saying that I go out there to purchase a Honda Accord and I saying that, hey, I'm a business owner, I use Honda Accord all day long and drive all day long, and you can help me to refinance or
Yep,
even cash out?
Yes. Yep. It cash out and make the customer would need to own the vehicle free and clear. But yes. Yep. But yes, we have a lot of companies that are on the road. A lot of businesses are on the road doing estimates for houses, appraisers, whatever. And yes, it makes sense for the business, and it's
Wow,
it works.
that is
As long
something
as it
new.
makes sense for if it's for business use and makes sense that business uses said vehicle to entertain customers, to go out and do a survey, whatever, then it makes sense and we can get it done.
Okay, wow, this is something new. I never know that you can refinance car also. Now, what about, I would assume that you can do a purchase on car as well if use it for
Correct.
business?
For business? Oh yeah, happens all the time. Sure.
Okay, so what is needed if somebody that,
So again, it goes back to the business. We're putting everything under the business, non for personal use. So the business is over 2 years time in business. I just need a credit app and the invoice of the vehicle, as long as it's from 30,000 up to 3 million. If it's again, purchasing a vehicle for business, but it's under 2 years time in business, then we go into 2 years of personal tax returns and 3 months of personal bank statements. And that's it.
Got it. Do you need to have a principal signer or a co-signer?
We can do both. So we try to get the deal done. That's one thing that I love about what I do is, we know these small businesses are, need to get the deal done, need whatever said equipment. So yes, with that said, for a co-signer, we look for immediate family members. So a mother, father, sister, brother, wife, and husband are the 6 that we can entertain. Some try to do uncles, brothers and sisters. I don't know if I mentioned that, but anything kind of next to kin, we can do. Uncles and aunts would not qualify. A close friend, unfortunately, isn't going to be able to help. But someone in the circle there of the family will definitely help the deal along.
Got it. Can you talk to us a little bit about equipment refinance? I mentioned, I remember that you and I have a conversation that you can actually refinance equipment that they already own. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. I went back to I forgot, I'm not sharing my screen anymore, but yeah, so it's actually, the phrase out in the market is called working capital. To be honest, the way that the equipment world works, it's called working capital. So customers looking for cash to make payroll, to buy another piece of equipment, to fix something that broke, to do a job, whatever. The customer owns a piece of equipment free and clear. As mentioned, we have no age restrictions, and we're very lenient on miles. They can even refinance an over-the-road sleeper truck if they own it free and clear. What we do is we'll get that title. It depends on the asset. We just show that the customer paid for like an excavator or a bulldozer. The customer has the title. We're going to do a lien search to know if it's free and clear anyway. So it just provides that the invoice that he paid for it, he or she paid for it. We'll be able to fund that customer, even if it's dated 10 years ago. We can fund off of that. Titled equipment, obviously the customer should have the title in hand, so we just need a copy of that. We take the serial number, go out to our third party, say, hey, this customer is looking for cash out. can you provide, some comps for us? And then we tally up all the comps and, give the customer the best that we can do as far as the value of that equipment. So, but I've seen, some of these yellow iron pieces of equipment, John Deere's and whatnot, they really hold their value. And I almost gave a customer, he bought it 5 years ago. He almost got the same money that he paid for it back as in cash. That's how the market, kind of went with, the yellow iron during the pandemic. So,
Can you define what equipment is?
what equipment is? It's anything and everything a small business needs to do their job. So it could be anything from a copier, to a coffee, to espresso machine in a restaurant, to it doesn't, no equipment in my mind is out of bounds. Run it to Alan. He'll give me a call. Again, Google's my friend. If there's stuff out there that I put on the books last year, 5,000 different pieces of equipment, trucks, trailers, sprinter vans, espresso machines, brewery, kegs, you name it. I try to get it done. So that's the name.
Wow. Okay. Looks like you can fund a lot of these things. And hey guys, ask your clients to go through their garage, and you
exactly.
they might find something
right?
that they can get money out of. Okay, that's good. Many of you are asking about this documentation. Yes, Bob is going to send me this documentation, and I will post it on our Facebook. If you're not following us, please do follow us on our Facebook page, and you will get this information. Okay. Okay, somebody's asking for EV charging stations.
That is the new hot button. That is the new, that I'll put with an asterisk. At this point, we are not, but stay tuned as we are having discussions about solar, EV, and believe it or not, cannabis. We really do have to wait for the federal government to approve it, if they ever will. But huge opportunities in those markets if the government would ever, open up the ways for that. But unfortunately, at this point, anything related to marijuana, we can't touch. But yeah, always any piece of equipment is on the table, and always looking to do through Alan, a particular vendor that, any folks out there want to try to really get entrenched with, maybe we can do, one-off type of deals with them to try to get some stuff funded.
Absolutely. So again, guys, even though Bob's saying that right now he's still not yet with his firm for about EV stations, but again, yes, we can fund it. That's not an issue. I'm sure that Bob is going to be able to fund it very, very quickly. So
yeah,
if you have EV stations, EV stations that will be seen as an equipment loan, would it, Bob?
Yeah, absolutely. That will be essential part of infrastructure. Whoever's the first at bat to get that in place is going to be the winner. So we're well aware that that's the way it's going. Yeah,
absolutely. And I believe a lot of you guys here in this room are selling EV stations through Zurich Geo. So please bring them in now. Bob, let me ask you these questions. A lot of people are asking this. So can a individual, purchase, let's say, 5 EV charging stations and install it into different facilities? Can you fund something like this in this setup?
So is will this person, they'll be incorporated or
yes.
LLC at some point?
Yes.
So yeah, we would go back to the principles of whether it's a startup company, 2 years of personal tax returns, 3 months personal bank statements, or if the company's been around for 2 years, we can look to get that done, since we don't, it's already established.
Now, do you need, let's say me, Alan Wu, I set up a company called Alan Wu Energy LLC today, and I go out there, purchase 10 EV stations. Now, do you need to know where I install these 10 EV stations, or you don't care?
No, we do not care. As you do place them, if you would let us know if we would get them approved where they're going to be. The majority of those, depending on the amount, we probably already have a GPS on it hidden somewhere, so we'll know where it's at. But I would hope that the customer would be like, okay, I'm moving this one to said location for its final destination or whatever. But we'll know where it's at.
Very good, very good. So again, Zurich Geo agents, you heard it. Yes, absolutely. Many of you actually already came to me asking me if you can guys just do that or not. So right now, you set up a new LLC, go out there, purchase whatever EV stations that you need to purchase, and as long as your 2 years tax return can support the loan, or the minimum, of course, the minimum loan amount is about $30,000, and we can fund that all day long. Okay. Now, and another question to you, Bob, is that how much can you fund? What is the LTV?
So yeah, we don't assess any of that as far as especially these new EVs. If the equipment is brand new, we do not need to get a comp on it. We don't need to. We just assume that the manufacturer, whoever, that's what it is. That's the price. Now, when you get into used, that's when we need to get comps or whatever. But a new piece, we can do, and we can do a lot of soft costs for those that are familiar with the term, the shipping and handling, the delivery, install, the setup, all that is called soft cost, and we can fund all that as well, as long as the deal makes sense.
Very good, very good, very good. Now, guys, you heard it. Okay, let's go out there. Let's open up a lot of doors. Okay, let's move on to the next questions. In your experience, Bob, you've been in this industry for over 20 years. Where can I find customers? How do I find them? What do I talk to them? What is your suggestion?
So the most successful folks that I've met are, nowadays, social media is the number one. And most of my folks out there that are successful, they'll do like a 2-minute little speech on their website or whatever. Just say, hey, looking for anyone looking for working capital. You need cash in your pocket. I'll try to get a deal done for you. Do you own any equipment free and clear? Give me a call. Let's have a conversation. Another really good way to get business is to call on vendors, is to just say, hey, and it's tough. It is really tough, but the John Deeres of the world, they have their own financing. And they pick the cream of the crop. So they want the A credits. We don't, as mentioned, we can't go after bankable customers. That is not, what this is about. They're, because they're the customers that are going to be like, I want a 2% rate, and, it's just not going to work. So we want the John Deere customers that they don't want, but they still want to move the product off of their lot. That's the customer that you hope they call to get the deal done. So calling on vendors, social media is the best that I've seen out there to get your name out there, word out, that you're doing transactions.
Fantastic. Okay, great. Move on to the next. A few of you asking, are this recorded? Yes, it is recorded, and it is on our YouTube channel. So if you don't know where it is, follow us on Facebook, and we will set it up to you. Okay. Next one. Do you pull credit as soon as we send the applications to you?
Oh, fantastic question. So we do soft pulls. The customer's credit will not be dinged when we run the credit at all. They'll never even know that we ran it. So nothing, no harm, no foul there. The only thing is, if the customer is approved and does accept for documents to go out, that is when a hard pull is going to be performed on the customer's credit. And we only do that to let other funding sources and everyone know that the customer has applied for credit.
Okay, very good. A few of you asking about finance cars. So Bob said already, yes, he can finance cars, and he has to be under an LLC. You cannot fund under a personal name, correct?
We fund sole props as long as it's for business and it makes sense. So we have a lot of landscapers that, are sole props. They don't, have a DBA name, fictitious name, as so to speak. So yes, yeah.
See, that's why I love Bob. You know, that's why I bring him online, because there's so many other companies out there that have so much restrictions, and you know, I mean, you send in 10 deals, and if come back once, you can fund one, you'll get lucky. But
Sure.
with Bob, you know, we can fund a lot of deals. So yes, we can fund you can finance your car under an LLC name or under a personal name. Move on. Alicia, she's saying that she has tons of truckers. Bring them in. Okay, we have the
We
product for
love
them.
them. We love them. That's the heart of the world. That's it. That's how we get products here and there.
Absolutely. The good thing is that once you get one trucker in, the entire group is going to come in along with that person. So again, yes. What about electric trucks? Are there any electric trucks out there?
Can
you fund electric trucks?
Yeah, we fund electric cars. We funded a Tesla. So yeah, the answer is yes.
Okay, very good.
Yep.
What makes our company different from another company? And well, first of all, Sequoia is a broker. Okay, we not only doing truck like this, but we do many other programs, as you can see from our product page. And we only work with the best lender. And as you can see, we can have Bob online anytime that we wanted to, and you can see his program. And not just Bob, but if you stay with us for the last month or so, we have so many other lenders or advisors that came on board to talk about their product, whether it's construction, whether it's 1 to 4 unit, whether it's fix and flips, factorings, cost segregation, so on and so forth. So that is a huge difference that we can provide. Now, since you are a Sequoia member, you have access to all these funding products out there. Okay, many of the loan company out there do not do something like this. Probably they were just focusing on the business loan. Probably some of them just focusing on, you know, 1 to 4 units. But there's not many company like Sequoia that covers the entire spectrum of commercial lending. Okay, we have over 500 different funding sources that you can tap into. So again, you can do multifamilies, apartments, developments, constructions. Now you can do trucks, even cars right now, so on and so forth. So that is our advantage. Now, of course, regarding to Bob's company, they can do a lot more. It's a lot more flexible. A lot of the lenders that do not want to do, they can do it. It opens up a lot of doors for us. Okay. Very good question. How old can the truck be?
We don't have an age restriction.
Oh, wow. So many lenders out there, correct me if I'm wrong, many lenders out there do not want to see any trucks that's older than 15 years old. So
right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep, we don't have an age. Most of them will be, you know, back in the early 2000s and late 1990s, they're going to be overhauled. We just have to, you know, and the customers are usually great at saving the overhaul paperwork. They know how important it is. So we just need copies of that to make sense of it.
Okay, very good. What kind of credit are you looking for?
So we are
FICO
scores, we do as low as 620 on the FICO score. We look at the whole story, the whole picture. If the company does have a pay net, you know, we're going to grab that. But the main thing is time in business and the FICO score, the PGs, if we're going that route. So, you know.
Very good. So actually, this is a very good topic to talk about because, again, regardless what happened, credit score will get you a much better rate in term, regardless you're doing a truck or a car or purchasing a property. We all know it. So as a consultant, it is our jobs to out there to educate our client. You know, if you don't need money right now, at least check your credit and make sure that your credit is in sync. Make sure that your credit is in line. Just in case you need funding, your credit is get to 660, 680, 700, so on and so forth, that we can get you the funding immediately. We have a lot of clients came to us and asking for funding, but when we look at the credit is like 500, 520. It would be present a huge challenge to our lender. There got to be a reason for the credit score is that low. So again, we do have a credit service, and yet there's another service that Sequoia provide. We do have a credit repair service that with Sequoia. So if your client have any credit issue whatsoever, feel free to use our service and to fix up the credit first. Okay. And another question, how about if the client had a bankruptcy due to COVID?
Due to COVID?
Yep.
Yeah, not a problem. Not a problem. It's explainable. You know, most of our guidelines are 5 years after the bankruptcy, but in the case of COVID or something that makes sense, there's a you know, leeway there, so to speak.
Okay, got it. Can you buy a car for yourself? I imagine that if you buy a car for your business, we can do it. We talked about it already. But if you just buy a car for yourself, a day-to-day, that's not our business.
Nope,
Okay.
nope. We won't fund anything that's not essential for business
Right.
purposes.
Right. Absolutely. Okay. So let me see. So many of you are asking for EV stations. So we already answered that questions. Yes, absolutely. We can do EV stations, whether you are selling the EV stations to a business, and we can use a business loan for that. Or if you want to set up a company purchasing a whole bunch of EV stations and try to install it to other commercial properties, definitely we can do that too. So again, submit a scenario. We will look at it. And as Bob said, we do need to see your 2 years of tax return, personal tax return, to make sure that you are able to support that loan. Okay. What does the down payment look like for sprinkler box trucks, brakes, things like that?
So great question. I've done a ton of deals lately with 0 down. It all depends on the credit quality of the customer. We do factor in the age of the equipment, but you know, the goal for myself, and I don't want the customer to come out of pocket even a penny. So my goal is to try to get it done with 0 down, but it could go as high as 20% depending on the credit quality. Again, we're trying to get the deal done, but you know, we feel if the customer puts 20% in the game, you know, that kind of offsets the credit, you know, not being up to par. So, you know, we look at every scenario. It's actually pretty amazing now, the technology that we have. It's literally, you plug the numbers in and it'll tell you, you know, 20% down, that's our comfort level for said, you know, credit and year and, you know, what have you for the equipment.
Okay. So along with the down payment, of course, the next question will be interest rate, right? So what would be the interest rate looks like?
So
just give us a ballpark.
So yeah, so we're anywhere from the low teens, so 11% up to, you know, 30%.
Okay. So actually, I think the right question is not about the interest rate, because this type of loan is actually just like a car. The client care more about the monthly payment. Can they afford the monthly payment or not? So again, many of them don't really care. Well, I shouldn't say they don't care about the interest rate, right, Bob? They care about the monthly payment. Can I afford it?
That is correct. The most, you know, our small business folks out there are very knowledgeable, and they know, okay, my monthly payment's going to be $2,000. However, with this excavator, I can make every job, you know, in a month, I can make 10 grand. So I don't really care. My payment's $2 grand. I'm going to make 8,000 on top of that. So that's how we sell, you know, the interest rate question. That's the first thing out of customers' mouth. And then we just try to talk them through, like, what are you expecting to do with this equipment? You know, your jobs are lined up. What do you expect to make? Well, here you go. You know, you're looking at making 10 grand and your payment's only going to be 2. So, and that kind of eases the pain of you know, interest rate, so to speak.
Very good. This is a good question. Equipment, can you fund equipment outside of the United States?
We cannot.
How about client purchasing equipment outside of the United States?
So we have been opening up the borders a little bit. We had some equipment come down from Canada that we got done. I would table that and see, you know, see how the economy goes and whatnot. And, you know, so question, we can circle back, but at this time we just stick with the, you know, in the 50 states here.
Okay. Got it. Can you work with repair shops to cover the bills for truckers when they need the overhaul on the engine or other repair?
So we can't actually fund the rebuild, but if that would be a great, if the customer owned the truck free and clear, we can do working capital for that customer, put that money in the customer's account, and then they can use that money to rebuild their engine or make the repairs needed. So that's a great question and a nice little example of thinking outside the box to where, you know, we can't actually fund the rebuild, but we can fund that paid off truck to the customer to put the money in their account.
Okay, very good. Where on the website is the information on credit repair by Sequoia? Everything is under the product page. Okay, go to product page, it's there. What is the interest rate? We talked about it already. What are the dealer fees? What kind of fees?
There's no fees.
Okay.
There's no fee. Once the approval goes out, that's what the customer pays, not a penny more, not a penny less. No fees.
Okay, good. Can you fund solar panels for homeowner or just for business?
So that's another, area we're looking into: EV, solar, cannabis and whatnot. So we're all looking at all these different verticals. Right now, the answer to that is no, for solar, even on businesses, but stay tuned.
Okay. So again, let me answer that question. The Bob says no. All right. So for a personal home, if they install a solar panel, the best thing for them to do is to get something called a HELOC, because normally on a solar panel, the system, depending on the size of the system, right, depending on the how big the house would be, the cost would be ranging somewhere around, let's say, I think as low as $5,000 that I see for a few panels, all the way up to, let's say, $30,000-$40,000, right? So $40,000, that's a huge system. Now, again, the best way for personal primary residence is to have them to cash out or to do a HELOC, go to a local bank. That will be the easiest way. And also when they purchasing solar panel for their home use, many solar panel company installer, they do work with some sort of lenders that can provide them fundings like this, but that is not our business. Now, if you're talking about equipment, solar panel for businesses, yes, we can do that. Let's say, for example, we done one about a year and a half ago. The client owns a restaurant and he installed solar panel on for his building. Then we can use the SBA loans to actually fund something like this. So yes, there are many ways for business. There are many ways that we can get funding for the client. So if they already own the commercial building, yes, we can use the commercial building as a collateral, take money out and pay for the solar system. If they do not own the commercial building, then we can look at business loans for such as SBA loans to give them the money for that as well. So again, there are so many different ways to do it. Can solar generators be funded?
That is a fantastic question. So here's what the majority, here's what I've been told. We do not want to fund something that if we pull it away from the building, it will leave a hole. So HVA systems that are on top of the roof, obviously we're not going to leave the customer with a big hole in the roof if God forbid we needed to get it back. If this solar generator is a standalone, not attached to the building, maybe has wires running into the building to work, we can entertain that. If it's actually physically attached to the side of the building or on top of the building, that's something we won't be able to do.
Okay. Bob, I'm not sure if you can fund solar farm.
Solar farms?
Yes.
Yeah, no, the solar industry is something that, we haven't really gone down that path, but
okay, so
no.
Right. Again, if you are talking about solar farms, yes, we do have lenders that can fund solar farms. Okay. So again, be surprised what Sequoia can do. Can you fund hydrogen fueling stations?
Yeah, that's probably down around the EV world as well. Stay tuned for all this alternative energy, fueling stuff.
Now,
as of right now, we can't really entertain it.
Right. So again, this is a hydrogen fueling station. This is not just an equipment. I would imagine you're talking about looks like a gas station where instead you're pumping gas, you're pumping hydrogen fueling type of fuel, right? So for something like this, it's definitely a construction loan. Okay, can we do construction loans? Yes, all day long. But however, if you are building a hydrogen fuel stations, so let me tell you one thing about in the lending industry. Every single lender out there do not want to be the guinea pig for the first one to fund something that is new. Hydrogen fueling station sounds exotic, sounds pretty cool stuff, right? But the question is that the lender will always come back is that who out there is building such stations? If no one out there is building such things, they are not going to fund it. So give you a perfect example. Many people know that Elon Musk is building some sort of house. He's talking about, hey, I'm going to spend build a house for 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 and build a house, right? Sounds good. And also you have a lot of builders out there saying that, hey, I can build a house using container. Anybody know that? You use a container to build a house? It sounds very good. It's very cheap. But most of the lenders do not fund something like this. Why? Because again, that is not a traditional ways to build a house or to build a structure. So many lenders do not know how to underwrite it, and they will wait until other lender already start funding something like this, then they will feel more comfortable to come in. So that applies to your hydrogen fueling stations. Sounds very exotic, and I have no doubt about the technology. But from the lender's perspective, unless someone out there is funding something like this, no one will be the first one to go out there to fund. So for something like this, in order for an industry to actually get to day-to-day use, the first group of people coming in is the investors. Those are the people that has the vision. Those are the people that has the money. Those are the people that have the gut. They don't mind to lose money. So a lot of these investors come in, put in a lot of money to build out that industry, and now the entire market sees that, wow, okay, this thing really works. Now the lender will come in. So keep in mind, lender are the most conservative business model. They don't want to be the first one to fund something like this. And hopefully I answer your questions, okay? So ladies and gentlemen, looks like that's all the question, and we are perfect in time. We have 3 more minutes. So guys, thank you so much for joining another episode of Sequoia Lending. And that's what we are here is all about. We provide programs like this. We share with you what we can do out there. But one thing that I would suggest everybody do is that, hey, do not just take the knowledge and not do anything. Imagine you are building a house. You building a house, you purchase all these materials, you build all the drywalls, your countertop, things like this. And now you need to start building it. You need to start utilize the material to start building it. That's what we're talking about right here. So again, by coming to Sequoia's training every Wednesday night, I hope that you get a lot of knowledge out of it. But knowledge cannot turn into wealth for you unless you take action for it. So my background, many of you know, is a mechanical engineering. Okay. One thing that we learned in mechanical engineering is that there is something called potential energy. What is potential energy means? It means that you have the potential to do something. You learn a lot. You have a lot of knowledge. You have, you know the industry very well, but that is just potential energy until you really act on it, and it will become kinetic energy. That is the things that you want to get involved. It's the kinetic energy. So again, guys, I would suggest everybody out there, now you know what equipment is all about. You know what trucking is all about. Go out there, at least generate 1 deal this week, okay? It does not have to be a closed deal. Just submit a deal, submit 1 deal to us, at least test out our system. See what Sequoia back office is all about. See what our support is all about. So again, I suggest everyone submit 1 deal. I challenge everyone, submit 1 equipment loan from now until next Wednesday. Okay, guys? And if no more further questions, we will end up tonight's presentations. Anyone else? Okay, great. Know what?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone, for your time. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
you.
Connect us on our Facebook, and we chat in our Facebook. Okay.
Thank you.
Bang. Have a great night.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Good night.
See you, team.
Bye.
See you in San Jose.
See you in San Jose. Absolutely.